Raising two kids in a civil war. You never knew when skirmishes were going to flare up in parts of the city that we would travel to or in our part of the city. So I felt quite anxious. I wanted you all to have friends. And yet I didn't want to curb you from having fun as a child living in that type of situation. And I wanted to teach you street smarts so that you wouldn't be taken advantage of or someone trick you into going with them or to harm you or whatever. But overall, we tried to keep a positive attitude during that time. I think one of the hardest things is that we weren't emotionally available to address some of the fears that you and Rachel may have had.
The first time I went to Tajikistan was 1991. In August, I got there just as the former Soviet Union was breaking up, and so arrived there to watch the whole crowd go into the center of the city and pull down Lenin's statue and declare independence. When we first got there in January '93, there was still a civil war going on. The whole city was kind of a ghost town. There was bombed out buildings, cars with machine gun bullets. Nobody was on the streets day or night, almost. There was a curfew at that time. That civil war lasted for 7 years.
We did the best we could to try to maintain some type of routine in life there. But we were always having friends around, which helped, whether they were Tajiks or foreigners, so I think that was helpful. Some of the fun things I tried to do was, in the summertime, we would go, in the early days, we'd go up into the mountains and let you guys play in the streams.
Tajikistan literally means the land of the Tajiks, and your mom and I had been learning Tajik, which is basically in Afghanistan called Dari, which is Afghan Persian. And so I wanted to see if it was the same country, and then when I got there and realized this place had been closed off for 70 years under the Soviet Union, with no access to it for anybody. The Tajik people needed help in a way when we got there that I never dreamed of, because we didn't think a civil war was going to take place. So just before we arrived, the fighting had been going on for a few months, and over 70,000 people had been killed in the fighting, and 500,000 people became refugees. So suddenly we shifted gears and just started emergency relief aid and trying to help as many people who were impoverished. And it was so bad that, people were starving. They just had nothing. The whole city the whole country came to a standstill.
A lot of the parties that we had were really fun. I really enjoyed all the dancing and all the friends coming and all the great food. And we had the Tajik people and we had foreigners and everybody got together, and it was a really fun time. I loved the dancing.
So I think the mandate is there for us to live unselfishly and be caring for people who don't have the same benefits, blessings, peace, safety, whatever it is that we're growing up with and experiencing. There is a huge part of the world, I think it's 2 billion people, who still live on $1 a day. I ought to care about that.
So what do you call this event, Dave?
So I think that, a privilege for us to be able to go to a place like Tajikistan in their darkest hour and bring light and hope was just one of the greatest privileges we could have. But we can do that with our own neighbors here and care about our neighbors here as well. It's not just going overseas.
سگ خور رفته ایستاده است. سگ خوب است.
خوب است.
خوب است. خیلی خوب است.
Maybe you better give it back to Daddy.
That's enough now.
Why?
Because I want to take a picture of you and see where you are.